Saturday night's main event start with the opening championship match. The WWE Women's Tag Team Championships were on the line as Brie Bella and Paige defended against Fatal Influence, represented by Fallon Henley and Lainey Reed. Start with the opening championship match. From the opening bell, it became clear that Fatal Influence weren't intimidated by the legendary champions. Fallon and Reed isolated Brie early, making quick tags and refusing to let her reach Paige. Every time Brie seemed close to making the tag, another distraction or perfectly timed double team cut her off. Eventually Paige received the hot tag, and the Madison Square Garden crowd erupted. She cleaned house with a series of clotheslines, super kicks, and a huge running knee that nearly ended the match. For a brief moment, it looked like the veterans had everything under control. But Fatal Influence had another plan. After a chaotic sequence where the referee completely lost track of the legal competitors, Fallon Henley delivered a devastating finishing combination while Lainey Reed prevented Paige from making the save. 3 seconds later, the bell rang. We had new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. It wasn't just another title change. It symbolized WWE's continued commitment to pushing its newest generation forward. Defeating two names as respected as Brie Bella and Paige instantly gives Fatal Influence credibility heading into SummerSlam. The champions celebrated inside Madison Square Garden while the former champions looked completely stunned. Whether this means the end of Brie and Paige's latest championship run remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. Fatal Influence now have enormous targets on their backs. The next match couldn't have been more different. Danhausen made his return to New York City for a no disqualification match against Judgment Day's J.D. McDonagh. As expected, this wasn't a traditional wrestling contest. It was complete chaos. Weapons started appearing almost immediately. Steel chairs, kendo sticks, tables, you name it, somebody tried to use it. J.D. McDonagh repeatedly attempted to keep Danhausen grounded, using every shortcut imaginable. Then, as everyone expected, Judgment Day numbers became a factor. Dirty Dominik Mysterio arrived to help McDonagh gain the advantage, turning what was already a difficult situation into a near impossible one for Danhausen. For several minutes it looked like the numbers game would finally overwhelm him. Then everything changed. The arena lights shifted. Fans started cheering before anyone even appeared. Out walked NBA champion Karl-Anthony Towns. Madison Square Garden absolutely exploded. The New York crowd welcomed Towns like one of their own, and he wasted no time getting involved. He entered the ring and immediately laid out Judgment Day members with massive chokeslams. Dominik Mysterio was even launched through a table in one of the loudest reactions of the night. With Judgment Day eliminated from the equation, Danhausen capitalized immediately. One devastating finishing move later, J.D. McDonagh was pinned. The crowd celebrated as Danhausen and Karl-Anthony Towns stood tall together in one of the night's most entertaining moments. Was it ridiculous? Absolutely. Was it fun? Without question. Sometimes wrestling doesn't need to be complicated. Sometimes fans simply want memorable moments that they'll still be talking about months later. This was definitely one of them. But if that match brought laughter, the next one brought something completely different. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria entered Madison Square Garden carrying months of personal hatred. Former friends, now bitter enemies. From the opening exchange, there was no feeling out process. They attacked each other immediately. Every strike landed harder than the last. Every slam carried extra aggression. Neither woman appeared interested in wrestling a technical match. They wanted to hurt each other. Only a few minutes into the contest, disaster struck. During a striking exchange, Bayley accidentally connected directly with Lyra's face instead of her body, instantly breaking her nose. Blood poured almost immediately. Instead of stopping, Lyra refused medical attention and demanded the match continue. The image was unforgettable. Her face completely covered in blood. Her gear stained red. Yet she kept throwing forearms, kicks, and submissions as if nothing had happened. The Madison Square Garden audience slowly transformed from shocked silence into standing ovations every time Lyra fought back. Bayley targeted the injury repeatedly, sensing that victory was close. But Lyra refused to stay down. She absorbed punishment that would have stopped many competitors before finally trapping Bayley in a submission hold. After several agonizing seconds, Bayley had no choice. She tapped out. Even after the bell rang, Lyra wasn't satisfied. She briefly walked away before turning back around and attacking Bayley again, making it clear that this rivalry is far from over. This wasn't simply another television match. This was a kind of performance that changes careers. Lyra Valkyria showed incredible toughness, while Bayley proved once again why she's one of WWE's most reliable performers when it comes to telling emotional stories inside the ring. If WWE wanted to convince fans that Lyra belongs among the company's biggest stars, tonight may have accomplished exactly that. The final major segment before the main event belonged to Roman Reigns. The World Heavyweight Champion arrived to one of the loudest reactions of the evening, accompanied by NBA Finals MVP Jalen Brunson. The celebration didn't last long. Roman addressed the SummerSlam landscape, reminding everyone exactly why he believes nobody can take his championship away. But before he could finish, Seth Rollins interrupted. The atmosphere inside Madison Square Garden changed instantly. The tension between these two rivals was obvious. Neither man looked interested in waiting until SummerSlam. Words quickly turned into a confrontation, and within moments, punches were flying across the ring. What followed was an all-out brawl. Brunson even became involved as chaos broke loose around ringside. Security attempted to separate everyone, but that proved impossible. The fight only ended after Roman Reigns and Brunson stood tall while Seth Rollins and his ally were forced to retreat, giving the World Heavyweight Champion the final statement of the night before the blockbuster main event. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes closed the show against Gunther and Sami Zayn in a match that carried huge SummerSlam consequences. If Gunther and Sami won, they would be added to the WWE Championship match at SummerSlam, turning it into a fatal four-way. If Punk and Cody won, the championship match would remain one-on-one. The match started with CM Punk and Sami Zayn. The two exchanged holds before Sami gained the advantage with a shoulder tackle and several quick strikes. Punk answered with a running knee in the corner and tagged Cody Rhodes into the match. Cody and Sami traded offense until Gunther tagged himself in. Gunther immediately slowed the pace, using heavy chops and uppercuts to overpower Cody. Cody tried fighting back with a dropkick, but Gunther cut him off with a powerful clothesline. Gunther controlled the match for several minutes by making frequent tags with Sami. They isolated Cody in their corner and prevented him from reaching Punk. Every time Cody created an opening, Sami grabbed his leg or Gunther intercepted him before he could make the tag. Eventually, Cody escaped a powerbomb attempt and hit an Vakjyria on Gunther. He reached his corner and tagged CM Punk. Punk entered with fresh energy and knocked Sami down with a series of clotheslines before connecting with a running knee. Gunther stepped into the ring, but Punk met him with a jumping clothesline and followed it with a bulldog on Sami. The pace continued to increase as all four competitors exchanged momentum. Cody returned to the ring and delivered a Cody cutter to Sami. Gunther immediately answered with a massive boot that sent Cody to the outside. Gunther then focused on Punk. He delivered several hard chops before connecting with a thunderous powerbomb. Punk barely kicked out before the 3 count, keeping his team alive. The closing moments became increasingly chaotic. Sami hit the Helluva kick on Cody Rhodes near the corner. Before he could make the cover, Punk broke up the pin at the last possible second. Gunther cleared Punk from the ring and prepared to finish Cody himself. He delivered another powerbomb and covered Cody. The referee dropped for the count. 1, 2. Before the referee could count 3, someone grabbed him and pulled him completely out of the ring. The cameras immediately showed SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis standing at ringside. Gunther left the ring and confronted Aldis. The confrontation lasted only a few seconds. As Gunther argued with him, Aldis picked up the WWE Championship belt and struck Gunther across the head with it. Gunther collapsed at ringside. Aldis threw the championship belt into the ring before stepping away. The referee returned to the ring while Gunther remained down outside. Inside the ring, Sami Zayn was left alone. CM Punk hit Sami with a GTS. Instead of going for the pin himself, Punk tagged Cody Rhodes. Cody immediately connected with the Crossroads. Punk stopped Gunther from getting back into the ring while Cody covered Sami. The referee counted. 1, 2, 3. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes won the match. With that victory, the WWE Championship match at SummerSlam officially remained CM Punk vs. Cody Rhodes. Gunther and Sami Zayn were eliminated from the title picture despite coming within seconds of changing the match into a fatal 4-way. After the bell, Punk and Cody celebrated together in the ring. The celebration did not last long. As Punk lifted the WWE Championship, the title belt accidentally struck Cody near the face. Cody immediately grabbed his eye while Punk checked on him. Cody accepted the explanation, but the moment created visible tension between the two men just weeks before SummerSlam. Later, WWE showed the two arguing backstage before officials stepped in to separate them. Gunther remained furious at ringside after realizing Nick Aldis had directly cost him the match. Officials kept the two separated as Gunther continued shouting toward the SmackDown general manager. Saturday night's main event ended with several major developments heading into SummerSlam. Fatal Influence captured the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Danhausen defeated J.D. McDonagh in a no disqualification match with help from Karl-Anthony Towns. Lyra Valkyria defeated Bayley in a brutal match after refusing to stop despite suffering a broken nose. Roman Reigns and Jalen Brunson stood tall after confrontation with Seth Rollins. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes defeated Gunther and Sami Zayn after Nick Aldis interfered, officially keeping the WWE Championship match at SummerSlam as a one-on-one contest between Punk and Cody Rhodes.